England is the first team in the history of Euro to reach the final after twice being behind in disadvantageous situation in the quarterfinals and semi-final. Why the miracle always happen to your team? Why the subs always become super subs? Thank you.
Character. I think definitely tonight, I don't think we deserved to be behind. It was a moment. We'd started the game really well, and I thought our performance with the ball was exceptional, really good. We caused a lot of problems. It was a very complicated game. They kept changing the way they were building up, so we had to keep changing the way we were defending. They kept changing the way they were defending, so we were looking for different solutions. But in the end, the players made so many good decisions on the field. People like Bukayo Saka, the defensive responsibility he started defending as a wing back, then he had to go into midfield to defend, then he had to defend as a winger. There were so many things like that going on all night. But I was really pleased with the quality of our play. It would be I would imagine, a long time since, or if ever, an English side had 60% of the ball against, aside from the Netherlands. So it shows the more modern England way, but also the resilience and the character of the group, because Ollie Watkins has trained like that every day, and he's been ready for his moment, no matter how frustrated he might have been at not playing. He's been ready, and the whole group have been, and the way that they've formed, it's a group with a lot of new players in it, and half of them had never been to a tournament, but they've bonded so well, and they've all got each other's back, and tonight was a great example of that.
Thank you. Over there. Thanks.
Hi Gareth, Steve from AP. It sounds like you've stressed out the king back home. He sent you a message saying he was on the edge of his seat like a lot of the fans. Right. Can you just give a message to people back home who obviously have been stressed out by that performance and over the past few weeks of your sort of late shows?
Well, I hope they're enjoying a few beers, really. We've had some incredible nights, the last 7-8 years. These games have been dramatic because the goals have come so late. The only reason I did the job when I took it on was to try and bring success to England as a nation, and to try and improve English football, and to be able to take the team to a first final overseas. I'm immensely proud of that. But now, of course, we've come here to win. We play the team who've been the best team in the tournament, and we have a day less to prepare, so it's a huge task. But we're still here, and we're fighting.
Thank you. Okay.
Hi, Ollie Moody, DW Sports. Thank you. Kobbie Mainoo was everywhere in that first half, and seemed to be gaining confidence from everything that he did, pulling out the flicks by the end of the half. Do you think this was a breakout performance for him in an England shirt? And how important is it for the team to have players like that who bring a bit of youthful joy to the game?
Well, I think all of his performances have been exceptional, especially when you consider his age. We haven't really had a player like him until now, so it makes such a difference when your midfield players can receive pressed and turn with the ball so easily and comfortably. It looks simple when he does it, but it isn't simple. But I thought him, Phil popping up in spaces, Jude, our movement was really good, and that caused a lot of problems. It caused them to adapt how they were without the ball. We had the goal that's disallowed by a fraction for offside. We have the chance that Phil is just cleared off the line. So I was really pleased with our football tonight.
Thank you.
Hello, Gareth. Egil from Norwegian NRK. You chose to pick off Harry Kane, your captain, 10 minutes before the game was finished, your best penalty shooter. This seems like quite a gamble, but how does it feel that it paid off?
Yeah, look, Harry took quite a big knock when he won the penalty, so we weren't sure how long he would be able to play on for. And him and Phil were playing well, but we were losing a little bit of energy on the pressure. Certainly we weren't taking Phil off because of his performance, but we have got good players on the bench. That freshness we felt could help us, and we wanted to make that gamble in normal time rather than wait until extra time. Having been to extra time twice, we didn't really want to go through that again physically as a team. So for Ollie to produce that moment when he did was it saved us another half an hour at least. But very, very special for him. I'm delighted for him.
Hi Gareth, congratulations, James Ollie from ESPN. Could you just talk a bit about the changes that the Netherlands made in the second half, the sort of tactical problem that posed for you, and what your thought process was in solving it?
Well, from the start of the game, they were dropping Depay lower, Simmons on the other side to normal, so building a little bit more with a 4. So we didn't need the 5 at the back, and we pushed Bukayo into midfield to pick up Reinders. They then adapted again because they were having problems dealing with us, so they left the left flank a bit freer in the latter part of the second half. Played almost a 4-2-2-2, much narrower. Meant that they had the numbers in midfield to make it more difficult for us. With Kieran had a little bit of a problem. Hopefully he could be okay, but with them giving us the left flank, it was a good moment to bring Luke on. We weren't sure how long he could play, but to finish the game we felt would be important. So they then adapted again with Weghorst coming on. They had more numbers through, so they were a 3-box-3 really in the second half, which again Bukayo did a brilliant job covering inside. So we weren't able to be quite as incisive as we were in the first half, but we kept the ball really well and we made them run. And maybe in the end, that's the bit that's fatigued them, that's been critical in the goal that we scored. So yeah, there was a lot going on in the game, and we had to keep making decisions and getting messages on. But in the end, it's the players that make the decisions on the pitch, and they did it brilliantly.
Michael Boykov for 90 Plus German media. England now have mainly played against defensively strong teams. Now they face Spain in the final, the strongest team in this tournament. Would you say that possession and offensive teams suit England better in terms of playing style?
Well, we'll have to get the ball off them first. So it's not as simple as us having the ball and making them run. I mean, they press very, very well. So we're going to have to be exceptional with the ball, and we're going to have to be exceptional without it. But it's a final. You expect it to be that way. They've been the best team. We're starting to show a better version of ourselves. The extra day is a concern. In the last few tournaments, that's been a problem for finalists. So we've got to, do the very best we can to recover the players as well as we can. But we're not going to be on the training ground. That's simple. We'll be walking through things or delivering things in meetings, which was the same for this game. But we're in there, and with what we've shown to this point, we have as good a chance as they do.
Hi Gareth, Simon Peach from PA, congratulations. You've touched on the personal criticism in the build-up, obviously the difficulties you had early on. Every knockout game there's talk of whether it's your last game. So with all that in mind, where does this rank in terms of achievements of your time in England, and how proud are you of everything?
As I said earlier, I took the job to try and improve English football, and we're now in a second final. The last one was the first in 50 years. We're now in the first that isn't played on our shores. I think we've got a team that will be together for quite a while, so it's not as though this is a team that's at the end of a cycle. and we're giving people some amazing nights. I think we've given our supporters, some of the best nights over the last 50 years. So I'm hugely proud of that. I'm delighted if everybody at home is feeling the way we are, and the way the supporters in the stadium were feeling. But from our point of view, we're not finished. We've got, the greatest possible test to prepare for, and we came here to try and win the tournament, and that's still our aim.
Thank you. Yeah.
Gareth Southgate, Daily Mail. Will the experience of the 3 years ago preparing for the final be able to call on those experiences to help you this time around? And is there an important balance to strike tonight, just in terms of celebrating the moment, but also focusing on the game on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean the lads are singing in the dressing room, but they're straight in the ice, So there won't be any wild parties. We've had a couple of those already, so we pick our moments for those. But in terms of the experience, of course, every game you manage, every tournament you manage, you learn so much. When I took this job, I'd had 3 years as a Premier League manager. I've now had 100 internationals, some of the biggest games in world football. You learn all the time from that. So we're more calm going into the knockout games, because the first time we did it in Russia, we hadn't won a knockout game for 10 years. We hadn't been through the experience. Quarterfinals, semi-finals, we've managed a lot of those games now. So you're definitely much better prepared, because every experience you go through, you learn from, and you're improving all the time. Your knowledge, your understanding. I would say if you're a coach and you're not doing that, there'd be a problem, really. But the last final, it's the first European Championship final I'd ever managed. So if I didn't get everything right, apologies for that. But we'll try and do better this week.
Hi, Gareth. Congratulations with the final. On the 13th of July, Yamal is having a birthday. He's turning 17. On 14th, there is the match. Do you have a present for this exceptional player, or you keep the medal for you? Thank you.
Can I get your name and the media house, please?
Harry, Armenian Media.
Thank you.
No, he looks an exceptional talent, that's clear. We have some good young players, but, Spain, Pedri, Gavi, Yamal, the centre-back, I've forgotten his name, sorry, from Barcelona, that you didn't bring, 17-year-old Kabasi. We're not the only country that has good young players. Sometimes I think we think we are, but it's not the case. So, we play a very, very tough game at the weekend. There's no doubt about that. But it's a final, so you expect it to be a very tough game, and we're proud to be there, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
I'll take the last 3 questions, okay? We'll start from here.
Hi, Gareth. Stan Wachman, Nu.nl from the Netherlands. Koeman just said it wasn't a penalty. How do you look back at that moment?
I haven't seen, so I know our analysts that were looking at it thought it was. Presumably they've reviewed it very closely, so but no, I have not seen it actually.
With a question over here in the second row. Thank you.
Paul Joyce, The Times. Could just check on Kieran Trippier's injury, and was it a groin injury, and do you think he's got a chance for the weekend?
Yeah, not sure. We didn't want to take any chances, and we had it in our minds that bringing Luke into a game with that balance at some point, we're still deciding how long he could play for, but we felt to be able to bring him into the game and finish with that balance was better than to start it and then have to take him off. So we'll have to see how Trips is, but I mean he's been an absolute soldier for us, and to fill in the way he has and produce the level of performance on the wrong side of the pitch with the injuries he came into the tournament with as well has been absolutely phenomenal.
Last question. Yeah. Thank you.
Rob Draper, Evening Standard. Gareth, really nice point of connection with the fans, obviously in contrast to the disconnection earlier in the tournament. Was that special? Obviously something that you've enjoyed. You said you need to enjoy that moment, but was that quite important to reconnect?
Yeah, I mean, we all want to be loved, right? So when you're doing something for your country and you're a proud Englishman, when you don't feel that back and when all you read is criticism, it's hard. So, to be able to celebrate a second final is very, very special. And, especially with fans that travel, our travelling support is amazing. The amount of money they spend to travel, the commitment to do that, to be able to give them nights like this. And, I think we have given them a few over definitely the last 6 years from Russia onwards. It means a lot. So if I hadn't been on the grass, I'd have been watching, celebrating like they were. So we're kindred spirits in many ways. But of course, I'm the one that has to pick a team, and so to be able to give them a night like tonight, very, very special.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your presence. Once again, thank you to the volunteers who helped us out, and congratulations to England for reaching the final.
Thank you.